What's up guys, hope you're all doing great. In this video, we're going to be unboxing the brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. So without further ado, let's get started. So the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it starts from 128 gig and goes up to 1 terabyte if you are really looking at that amount of storage on a phone. In terms of price, the Pro Max starts at a price of £1049 for 128 gig and goes all the way up to £1549 for 1 terabyte. Now let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look how it actually looks. So this is the graphite color, as you can see on the box itself too. So let's now take these bits off. So I'm going to take the top bit first off and now the bottom bit, and now take the top off as well. And now you can see that here's the new iPhone 13 Pro Max graphite. Now we will take a closer look at the phone in a moment, but let's first quickly go through the usual bits. So inside the box we have the SIM card ejector tool, and then we have some usual paperwork, and then we also have an Apple sticker. Then we have our USB-C lightning cable, and like the previous models, we don't really have a charger in this one as well. Now let's go ahead and take the wrapper off the display and now switch it on. So it's going to take some moments to switch on, and we can take a look at the design in that time. So the graphite color looks really nice, and here's the iPhone 12 Pro Max in graphite, and you can see that there are no noticeable differences in the design of both these models. So the side looks fairly the same, as you can see, and now the top is pretty much the same as well. And if I move to the other side, the SIM card tray in the 13 Pro Max is in a slightly different position. And then the only other thing is that the camera bump is a little bigger for 13 Pro Max, as you can see. But again, nothing major, and in terms of appearance, in terms of design, it's pretty much the same as iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now the overall weight is a little different, and the 13 Pro Max is slightly heavier than the 12 Pro Max, so it weighs at about 213 grams, whereas the 12 Pro Max was only about 226 grams. So it's just like a 12 grams difference. So again, nothing major. So now that the phone is on, let's take a closer look at the display, which is very similar in terms of resolution. So it's 6.7 inches in terms of size. It has got a ProMotion at up to 120 Hz and up to 1000 nits with normal brightness. It has HDR, True Tone, and has ceramic shield on it as well. So now let me complete the setup here, and we can come back and then talk about the internals as well. So the setup is almost complete now. So let's just quickly go through the Face ID, and I'm just going to hit get started and now move the head around and then in the other direction as well. And let's hit continue now. So I'm just going to skip all these steps so we can get into the phone quickly, but while it's completing the setup, let's talk about the internals. So internally it has an A15 Bionic CPU, which is the fastest chip ever in a smartphone according to Apple, and it has a 6-core CPU, and it also has a 5-core GPU, which is one more than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So the setup is all complete now, and here's the new iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max have ProMotion, which means that it can ramp up the display refresh rate up to 120 Hz. So it's just going to make it super smooth when you are basically scrolling and moving through the screens. Now when it comes to the camera, they have moved the front camera to the left in this model, and the camera itself is a 12 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture, and it can record up to 4K. Basically it is exactly the same like it was in the previous model. Now we will take a look at the camera features in a second, but let's check the main camera first. So in terms of the rear camera, these are all the new sensors, so they should be very impressive because they have a very sophisticated stabilization, and they are like triple 12 megapixel sensors. So we have a telephoto f2.8, then we have a wide f1.5, and then we also have an ultra wide f1.8. So if you go into the camera now, it gives us an option to choose the photographic style that we want to set as a default, and we can always change these settings later on if we want to. So we do have a range of styles here to choose from, so we can go from standard to vibrant to rich style to cool and etc. The other thing that's really cool here this time is the macro mode. So if I take this camera closer to the phone, you can see that it jumps straight into the macro mode automatically. And if I take a picture now and zoom this in, now you can see that how close we can get, and we can basically see all of the very fine details too, which I think is very impressive and very amazing. I mean, the thing is that we really didn't have this feature in any of the previous models. So we didn't have this feature in the iPhone 12 Pro Max or the Pro or just a normal iPhone 12 as well. So I think this is really a game changer, and I'm just absolutely loving this feature. Now, another feature that's really brand new to this model is the cinematic mode, which actually lets you switch focus and gives you a really impressive depth of field. I will be putting another video in a day or two comparing the camera results for both iPhone 12 Pro Max and iPhone 13 Pro Max. In that video, I will go through and will use the cinematic mode in more detail. So that's really it for now, guys. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I really hope that you liked the video and you find it useful. I will now see you again very soon, so you all take care of yourself.